G'day warbanders, and today I want to show you how to install mods from Bannerlord. Now I've seen a lot of people struggle with mods in Bannerlord, so this video is mainly aimed at people who are new to modding and don't know how to do it exactly. And it's quite easy process. So when you want to install a mod, it's basically you go to the Nexus, which is where most of the mods are. There are other mods in different websites, but Nexus is the main one for Bannerlord. And you basically go to the description and then you go to the the first thing you want to do when looking at mods is to make sure it's what you want and you know what's changing it. So this one adds battle buddies and just changes the relationships when you win a battle and all that. So I'm just using this as an example. You go through and just check, oh yep, this is the mod I want. And you go to files and you go to manual download. And you just install. So here's a common issue I see people have is you got to download the dependencies for mods. So in this instance, this mod requires the mod configuration menu, which is a common mod that every other mod uses. So I would suggest downloading this if it pops up in your dependency window here. So like additional files required, just download whatever they ask you to do if that pops up. But we're going to ignore that because I already have that. And you just download it through the manual download button. And if you have the fast premium plan for Nexus, it'll go faster, but I have a download manager, so it'll go relatively fast. And yeah, so here's the mod. So you'll find your mod wherever you keep your downloads. And in this instance, it's Battle Buddies. So yeah, so we grab that and we go to our drive where Bannerlord is. So in this, where I have it stored, it's in Steam, and you go to local drive, like you go here, you go to Steam library, go to properties, local files, browse, and this is where you'll install your mods. So modules, so this is the main thing where people don't know where to install. So you go to modules, it's like the previous game. So you just put it in modules, and as you can see here, I have all my mods there, such as Harmony, Diplomacy mod, and you just add that folder. Where is it? Yeah, here. So Battle Buddies. So you just drag and drop that in there, and boom, it's ready to go. And now, and I'll just show you in the where it pops up in the mod load order. So when you have it installed, you should be able to see it when you launch it in the launcher of Bannerlord. Okay, and as you can see here, it should be at the bottom. Here we go. And to enable mods, you just click these. Hey, just ignore these red exclamation marks. It's just telling you Tailwolds is not responsible for consequences arising from unofficial code. So just take that warning as you will. And yeah, as you can see here on the left as well, the orange buttons here. It says it depends on this mod and that, so make sure you have those mods. But now we're going to move on to some tips and strategies for mods. So a general thing you should do is always have these 3 mods or 4 mods here installed. So five actually. So the first one you need on every mod list is probably the mod configuration menu. It's the same process as I just described before, just putting in the modules folder. Unless the mod specifies, yeah, see here, it tells you even how to install it. So if you ever don't know how to install mod, just go to the description and take a look. And yeah, just install this one. Harmony, so it's basically like these mods just are mods that are needed by other mods to work, essentially. You don't really have to worry about what they do. They just make sure other mods work. It's mainly for modders to use. And then Butterlib, so another extension library for Mount Blade, so it's just another mod they use for modding. And UIExtender, important. You want that as well. I'll put all these essential, they're actually really essential, so I'll put all these in the links below in the description. And Unblock DLLs. So I think Tower Worlds has like some sort of blocking thing that stops it from being touched, so they have this. It's a simple script that unblocks all the DLL mods. It does have a bat file, but I've used it. It doesn't do anything bad, so keep that in mind. But yeah, guys, so those are the 5 mods you'll need. I've gone over how to install a mod. Now I'm going to go over some tips and tricks. So there's a few problems with modding. So the first one, or like the first thing you should watch out for, is mod incompatibility. So make sure you're installing mods that, you know, that mesh well with together. So this is a really a little bit of a hard process to get, because sometimes mods don't tell you what they're compatible with, and sometimes they may just be fine out the box, you know. And the only way you can test this, like the best way to test, is to actually play the game and find out and see if anything's broken, which you can usually use a console cheats or whatever you need to do to test out if it works. But mostly in some mods, they'll tell you what it's compatible with. And what else? And also with other, just be careful, you know, what you install, because sometimes it may affect the balance of the game. You want to really make sure what you're installing works well with the game, because the modders themselves, they're not, you know, sometimes they make errors and they will introduce bugs to the game, additional bugs to the game, so you want to be careful of that. And another thing is Tailworlds updates the game regularly. Now I see a lot of people crying about my mods are broken, my mod's broken. Well, all you need to do to stop that, you know, from happening is to go to your game in Bannerlord, right click, properties, betas, and then just revert your version to a version when your mods work. So say if Tailworlds updated the game to 1.70, you would go back to 1.65. Now that's not really economical, like, you know, it's not the best decision, but say if a mod's not working on the current version, which is 1.71 or 1.00, you just go back to that version and click that, and it should update it, but I don't want to do that because I got mods that work. And just be wary of the versions of the mods, because I would be wary of mods that uploaded in 2020. So if we go to mods and we go to endorsements, or like the highest rated mods, right? And you can all see here, they've all been last updated in 2020. So that was like 2 years ago, but it's still on the top of the page. So this is a bit, you know, confusing, because most of these mods don't work, guys. So be careful about what you install. Now this one works, updated 12th of February. So you can make sure, see last update here. Just make sure that's, you know, recent. Because if you go, oh, I want to download this Bannerlord tweaks, right? Like, I'm sure some of this works, right? But I would be wary about installing mods that haven't been updated in a while, because Tailworlds likes to update the game, it gets broken. Right? So whenever you're unsure, also check out the posts of the mods, check if it's working, and you'll see like, oh, my game keeps crashing on startup, and it seems like it hasn't been, oh yeah, see, it's time to move on. So just make sure, again, I'm going to hammer this home, is you got to check if it works still, if it's not been updated. And as you can see here, someone's having issues, and someone else says it hasn't been updated in 2 years, time to move on. So just be careful of that. And yeah, so that's basically my video on how to install mods for Bannerlord. Again, I'll go over it again, like in just a short form list. Put your mods in the modules folder, install these dependencies, Harmony, Bannerlord, UIExtender, Unblock DLLs, and just make sure you install recently updated mods and just check their compatibility with other mods to make sure they mesh well in the game. And if it crashes, remove one mod each. So just take one mod out, see if it crashes, take another mod. If it still crashes, take another mod out. So just go through the list. It's a really tedious process, but you'll find out which mod's causing the crashes. But yeah, that's my video, guys. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe if this helped you. I'll be answering or comments if you have any questions. I might have missed something on this, but it's a rather simple process. You can use Vortex, the mod manager, to make it a little bit easier for you, but I recommend installing it manually because I've been having issues with Vortex, and it's actually a little bit more fiddly and more complicated to use than actually just putting the modules folder and it working. So yeah, that's been it, guys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Sorry for my lack of uploads, but I'm still doing YouTube, so that's fine. But yeah, see you guys. Ah, shit.